Hello everybody, it's Wyvern here with another bit of Sanctus Reach Red Wall gameplay. This time around we are going to be going onto an Imperial Fortress. Mission size is small, but force size is large, and the mission type is attrition. So this could be a bit of an interesting game, as we are definitely going to be a little shy on troop count, I think. The AI gets a lot of troops on attrition. We're going to have to push into their against them. We can't just sit tight and defend or defend our midway objectives. So hopefully we'll be able to play a little bit aggressively and apply some pressure to them. Hopefully get something done that way. And I'm getting a bit of a mouse glitch here, which is a little strange. But nonetheless, does look like we are going to be competing for some objectives there. We can get actually multiple vanquishers to have boatloads of heavy bolters, and some anti-armor. So actually we're going to take the 2 Luminous Punishers. We have a lot of guardsmen. We have some Tempestus Scions, which I think I'm definitely going to take just because they're very, very potent. We got some Scions with Meltaguns. Once again, very good. And that leaves us with 1,300 points. Now, I think I will take some of the Vanquishers simply because I don't really have much in the way of anti-armor. And I'll fill in the rest with las guns and that sort of stuff. We got some las guns. We got grenade launchers. I don't really care for the grenade launchers. I think we'll take some plasma guns. Might drop some las guns. Make room for one more unit of plasmas. And that leaves us on just 20 points. Unfortunately, this will leave us a little bit shy on transport. But with this many tanks, I'm definitely kind of hoping they can just kind of soak up hits. We could drop a Luminous Vanquisher, I suppose, in favor of bringing some Chimeras. Well, there's actually a Basilisk here. Oh, that's... I think I will definitely be... Okay, we're going to be dropping a Luminous Vanquisher to make room for a Basilisk, which leaves us with just enough points to get ourselves some guardsmen with las guns. And with that sort of firepower, we should have a decent shot of just doing okay. Maybe not amazing, but reasonably well. I don't believe there's anything. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a big gap between plasma guns. Are very expensive. They're very powerful for sure. We could also... these are some really good units. The Hellhound's also really strong. He's a really, really strong unit. I wish I could squeeze that in somehow. The Meltas actually aren't going to be that good, I just realized, because the fact of the matter is the Meltas, without a transport, and we don't have a Valkyrie here, they're going to struggle to get into a position where they can really make use of those Meltas. And otherwise, they're basically a unit sniping unit. They're basically intended solely for unit sniping. So, now this is going to be a little rough, because the AI, this is a very small map, and the AI is going to outnumber us by an immense amount. There's no way we can really compete with AI on in sheer weight of numbers, despite the fact that we are Card, and you would think Card is in lore sometimes even outnumbers greenskins, but that's not going to be happening here for sure. We'll deploy some guardsmen. We'll give them some Punisher support, at least for now. And the rest of it, we'll just kind of push up here, make a block of troops, get our Hellhound going, and hopefully we can do okay. We got some plasmas. Unfortunately, we're going to be a little condensed here. We do have this Basilisk there. And I do believe that's it for my troops. I don't think I really have anything else. So we're going to end turn, and I'm not entirely sure what this map, or this mouse glitch is. Now, the greenskins are definitely taking their turn here, and being a bit of a nuisance, so we're gonna, or, well, not being a nuisance, but they're just not pushing at all, so we're gonna have to make the move, yeah, we're just gonna push forward. I don't want to commit the Hellhound just yet. I don't want it to be the first one into the breach, for lack of a better term there. We'll just send some guardsmen up. Let the guardsmen do a little bit of recon. Get our power swords forward. Obviously, there's quite a few units here that I do not want to just immediately commit. I don't want to commit the Hellhound right away. It's a very squishy unit. I don't want to commit the... There's a lot of units in here that I don't want to commit immediately. So, we're going to sit tight for a little bit. We'll keep these guardsmen sitting tight. We'll actually swing the Punisher around. We should be able to sneak through here. And, yeah, end turn here. It looks like there's a whole bunch of knobs, some shootas, but no, those are actually scorcher knobs. And we got a mech gun, and this is going to be a big pain. We definitely need to scatter our infantry. Our infantry needs to hang back until that gun is out of action. Now, unfortunately, these guys are getting some flanking firing on us. Now they're orcs, so their shooting's terrible, but nonetheless, they're definitely a bit of a threat. This shooting against my flamers and that sort of stuff is practically irrelevant. Orcs just do not have the accuracy or damage output really to do much to armor at this range. But I do definitely need to be cautious. One of the big problems for Imperial Guard is that if I do push close, and of course that is my intent, is to push close, I'm going to start risking getting mobbed in close quarters. I'm going to use our Punisher here on these knobs with combi scorches. We took out most of their HP, but we're going to finish them off there. Those guys are well out of range. We'll actually shift these guardsmen forward a little bit. We'll sit tight with these guys. I don't really want to commit them just yet. What we're going to do, we definitely want to be a little careful. We'll swing around over here. We're going to take a little bit of fire here, but that's a-okay. I want to see how... So it looks like the burning isn't going to... We'll move to here. And that's going to make... We're going to have to be forced to take a nasty volley there. We're going to turn our hull. And I do believe we should be able to just roast these guys. And we're actually able to clock those guys in the back too, which is pretty awesome. Unfortunately, we're not really breaking these guys' morale. We'll be able to do a little bit of damage there. Now we do have frag ammo. We're actually going to take the increased hit points. Now you might be wondering why I do that instead of the AoE, but it's actually the Flamer I do believe hits everything on a tile anyway, so in my opinion it's simply overkill. There's no real reason to do that. What we're going to do is we're definitely going to push the tanks forward, and the reason for that is because I don't want the infantry, if I can at all avoid it, I don't want the infantry taking the fire. I don't want the infantry taking the fire from the mech gun. We will be able to, if we push up to... I don't want to get in range of the knobs. Knobs do have 20 movement point, which means they can easily make it pretty close. We'll push up to here, and we will unload on these guys with our heavy bolter. And I do believe the heavy bolter should do pretty well. There we go, kind of. We'll finish them off with the sponson, or the hull mount. There's slug knobs back there, but we'll be able to just fire on these combos and whiff and actually hit our own guy. We didn't even finish the unit. That's really pitiful. And I don't fully use the heavy bolter. We definitely want to be a little careful. We're going to hang back a little bit with the guardsmen. I'm not going to push forward just yet because that mech gun is a big threat, and I want to destroy it with the Punisher if I can, or Vanquisher if I can at all do that. We'll actually turn our hull to face this way, because these guys are pretty bad on morale, and if these knobs push forward, I would like to be ready to kind of burst them down. That was pretty funny. The Vanquisher is complete overkill. The Stormboys are going to have a rough time, though. They get annihilated. The Punisher is just very powerful. So definitely. These guys might... I'm not entirely sure if they are in range. They aren't in pistol range, which is a little unfortunate. My guys should be in cover. We have some shooter boys. These guys might get into range. I'm not entirely sure. But with the Punisher there, you can simply roll the Punisher up and mow those guys down. I don't understand. AI loves to do this. They like to use flamethrowers on armored units, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. I don't know where that kind of obsession or behavior stems from with AI. But they do that a lot. My Hellhound, of course, does have bonus HP right now. It's up to almost 400 HP, which, given that it started at 240, is actually not a bad situation to be in. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna pull back. I'm gonna torch this whole area, and should be good. 1 HP with the flame. That's just such a waste. Unfortunately, the mech gun does not seem to be. Oh boy, the mech gun actually goes after my guardsmen, which is really painful. My hope had actually been that it would ignore the guardsmen and focus on my tanks, and it's not doing that. We do get a nearly complete kill. Unfortunately, the guardsmen are just taking a major... The guardsmen are taking a major beating. I've lost an entire unit here. I don't know if it was a veteran unit, but nonetheless. The Slugger Boy will go down in the next round of shooting. We'll push up. The mech gun needs to go really badly. One of the big problems is because there's just so many orcs. It's rather difficult to... Unfortunately, it looks like we cannot actually hit those guys. So we'll unload on them with these guys with the Punisher Cannon. We'll hit them again. That was a bit of a waste, but what can you do? And we'll roast these guys, and hopefully finish a few of them off. There we go, beautiful. And we're out of movement points, so we can push forward with the Vanquisher a little bit. And we can hopefully put this nuisance of a mech gun into the ground. That's perfect. 260 points down the unit, down the drain, and we will actually be, I think, in position to snipe away at the Death Dread. Now, I did lose the unit of Guardsmen here, but the Guardsmen, well, I obviously don't want to lose Guardsmen if I can avoid it. It's not the end of the world if I do. And we'll push forward to here. We could unload on that Death Dread, but what we're going to do instead is we're going to unload these Shooter Boys and perform pretty badly. We'll push up to here with the Guardsmen and unload on them. And actually fail again. That was really unfortunate. Fortunately, my guards are really out of shape. We're going to shift the Basilisks over here. Leman Russ will push up to here, and we will unload on these Slugganobs. We still do, of course, have our Bolter. There's unfortunately a lot of Sluggas, and unfortunately, the worst part here is that the AI is very, very spread out. So, those guys are routed, which is good. The edge definitely has... We're going to fire Basilisk Ground over there, and hopefully clip these units out on the edges, get a nice crit. We practically wiped out a unit, and we might even be able to, depending on how our Bolter fire works out, it doesn't, but it was worth a shot. We actually have a shot on these these guys with our Plasma, though. The Plasma seems to be very, very inaccurate, and I could have popped accuracy buff on these guys, but I did not. I really do wish I had a heal right about now, because these Guardsmen are right on the edge of their, or the end of their tether. My tanks over here are doing an absolutely amazing job. And yeah, we're basically set. There's a handful of tanks here, there's some vehicles and all that sort of stuff, but all in all, we should be doing pretty good. I'm kind of wishing I brought a second Vanquisher right about now, but I won't lie, the Vanquisher is pretty amusing with the way it wastes its shots on some pitiful units like Storm Boys. There's a lot of annoying units here behind the cover, but the War Buggy is going to do terrible against the Punisher. I'm surprised it actually survived the fire from the Punisher. We're going to be able. We'll just bolter it down with the Hellhound. I'm not going to bother doing. I need the Punisher. Knobs are going to go down. I'm going to have to do a fighting retreat for sure with the Leman Russes. One of the good things is, of course, the Imperial Guard. Every one of the Imperial Guard units does have a bolter. To be precise, I guess, every one of the Imperial Guard armored units has a bolter attached to it. I'm kind of wondering if now I know that, for example, there's a policy with. Oh boy, this is really bad. I'm probably gonna lose the Imperial Guard there. But for example, there's a policy that the CA has that they don't do DLC for DLC, and they've broken this policy before. For example, when they did the, they don't necessarily always follow this policy. An example of that is when they added the Regiments of Renown, but they've done free DLC. I don't know if we'll ever see weapons teams for Imperial Guard, for example. I think it would be pretty awesome if we did, and I would definitely love if we did, but I'm not entirely sure if we ever will, and definitely one of those things I'm kind of interested and definitely wondering about. These guys definitely botched it. I'm going to be able to just bypass this buggy and torch them. That's Orc Boys with Sluggas back there, which could be a bit of a nuisance. And what we're going to do is we're going to fall back. Our guardsmen need to run like heck, because they're in a really bad spot. How am I going to do this? And let's see. We can actually crossfire the Death Dread, but the Death Dread has... Well, it's actually, you know what, we get a little 7 damage. Good stuff. Not the end of the world there. Now... we can shift the Basilisk to back here, and now we could just fire up on this clump over here. And if we can just break these guys' morale, that would be perfect. And we're able to just fire over our Leman Russ there. Now we can shift over to here with the guardsmen. The guardsmen are ultimately expendable, I guess. That's just kind of their function, is the fact that they are throwaway units. We're going to poke away at those sluggas. We're going to retreat a little bit. We're going to move to shield our guardsmen. And we will unload on these slugganobs. We'll fail to kill them. We'll unload on the second unit of sluggas. Finish them off. And then we should be able to finish these guys off with some heavy bolter fire. Our guardsmen can't retreat any further, which is a little bit of a nuisance. Our Vanquisher it actually does have a shot, but its chance to hit is incredibly low. But if we reposition, we're able to bring that chance up to 65%, which does give us a single hit at least. Now here we could, let's see, we could swing our plasma guns up to here and unload on the Death Dread's flank. And the plasmas, of course, do immense work, even to armor like this. They're pretty powerful. The biggest problem is, of course, that there are some nasty units. And if this Death Dread does go after me, I'm going to be in deep trouble just because it... yeah, we'll be able to throw smoke out. If we're able to bring this Death Dread down, that would be ideal. We're almost able to do it. I don't know if the Tempestus Signs will be in range. This might not be quite pistol range. It's not. Oh, but we can hit it with the heavy bolter. Well, maybe. It's a little bit of something. And we can throw out a smoke grenade. The problem is there's not really much to smoke. Most of these units are AoE based. I'll use our basilisk shots. Over here we can do a drive-by. We'll take some fire, but that's okay. Our camera is actually surprisingly tanky. And we'll roast some orc boys and ruin their day. We could hit them with the heavy bolter, but instead I think we're just going to finish out the war buggy with our heavy bolter. Beautiful. We'll turn our halt. Get our forward facing going, and we'll have our reaction arc set over there. And now we can swing around to here with our other Leman Russ and finish off these storm boys. Even with cover, these guys are going to have a rough time. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to destroy. I'm going to focus on working down those walls. And yeah, I think that's basically it for me. I don't really have anything else I can do. The biggest problem here is, of course, that I am about to probably going to get roasted. We'll set our reaction arc, but it's pistols, so pistols don't really have much reaction arc. If any of these units move, though, we'll be able to wipe them. Now, you can see that AI keeps getting some reinforcements, but the way this map is set up is actually very, very beneficial for me as Imperial Guard. And the reason for that is that Imperial Guard needs to do standoff engagements if they cannot all do that. Because the as you've seen, the HP on their units is just atrocious, and that's being rather generous. Unfortunately, you can see my troops are definitely wasting their fire here. Plasmas are going to take some nasty work here. I'm probably going to lose my plasmas. Oh, one of them survives. Whoop, whoop. Squad is alive, but probably going to get... And for some reason, I don't know why these guys don't return. Like, these guys are reaction fire. They have pistols. They should reaction fire, but they don't. We're going to get our plasmas pounded here. Fortunately, we should be able to bring it down with plasma fire. I'm not entirely sure why it didn't. I think the reason it didn't push up is actually because of reaction fire. That that the AI is afraid it's going to lose the unit to reaction fire. Unfortunately, they just have so many troops. They're just going to swarm me and roast my troops, and I can't do anything about it. So I'm just going to lose a bunch of guardsmen. Very little that can be done about that. The only good thing here is that I do still have quite a few troops around kicking. We can use our power swords here. And they are very, very powerful. The Tempestus Signs are definitely no pushovers in close quarters. We can then finish off the Burna, which will actually give us a level up. Take crack shot, and we'll swing our plasmas around the flank here and hopefully finish off this Death Dread. Beautiful. That's 300 points right there, which is actually really nice. That is some terrible shooting. I don't really want to. I don't actually want to waste my. If I could avoid it, I'd rather not waste my Basilisk Ground, or even my Punisher's ammo. But it looks like I'll have to. That was a total waste of ammo, but what can you do? Or waste of shooting, but to be fair, there's very little for the Punisher to shoot at otherwise on this. I could heal the Punisher actually, but I'm not going to do that right now. We're just going to focus on this backline, go after the shooter boys, and there we go, beautiful. And there's actually a whole bunch of units clumped up there. And we're scoring some major hits. Push up to here, and actually spot a whole plethora of nasties. So we'll finish off the shooter boys. We don't actually have a shot at the copters, by the way. Oh, we do. That one over there. And we almost brought it down. The heavy bolter should bring it down. So the heavy bolter gone, with that gone, we're actually in a pretty good spot. We're going to be able to roast the orc sluggas. If we can finish them off, that would be ideal, but it's not going to happen. We do finish. Okay, we do finish them off with the Chimera. I don't want to necessarily. If I can avoid it, I would like to not commit certain troops. I guess to 55% chance, 70%, 70%. So we'll just go after this Kill-A-Can with the rocket launcher and get soaked up by. And we can hit the one in the back with the heavy bolter. Oh, it does nothing, but that's okay. Basilisk's fired. We can push our guardsmen up. Our Tempestus Scions actually have full. I guess the Tempestus Scions might not have a penalty to movement for attacking. I could be wrong. It might just be bad, or like me not paying good enough attention or not quite realizing how things work. But it actually looks like they don't take a penalty. The biggest problem here is that I'm just very slow, and the AI keeps getting reinforcements. This shooting from the bikes are dangerous, but not that dangerous. This is, after all, a Lehman Russ. And actually, the rocket launcher there took 121 damage. But the rockets seem to be doing a lot more than I would have expected, or definitely more than I would have liked. Oh boy, AI is definitely getting a lot of troops. This shotgun shouldn't do very much, though it seems to be, okay, 11. This unit should be goner pretty soon, though they will get a little bit of damage on the Hellhound. I'm not going to deal with that unit. I'm going to send some. I'll send some different troops to deal with it. I'm going to send the the Hellhound around the flank. We'll try to finish these guys off with the heavy bolter. Fail. Roast them. That'll finish them, and then we can push on up this way. Now our Punisher's pretty beat up, but we're not actually able to use our gun there. I'm not touch. So for some reason I'm not able to use the Vanquisher cannon right there. Okay. Unfortunately, the way this is working out, okay, well, it's just some rough stuff. These are very suboptimal targets, to put it generously. That was a very quick kill. We've obviously lost a whole bunch of troops, but if we keep pushing along, we should be okay. We will center up on that blob over there. That should give us some meaty hits. I wish you could reverse tanks. I'm gonna have to take a shotgun blast to the rear. But it's okay, we will put the hurt down on this Kill-A-Can. Punisher, in spite of not having good armor piercing, can do some damage, I guess. Unimpressive though, maybe. If I can bait this guy out, then the Lehman Russ Vanquisher will be in a much better position to engage. Guardsmen are going to keep pushing. Last guardsman pushing up. Last guardsman going to keep pushing up, and we're just going to take what we got left and do our best. We can also repair this tank. Basilisk's done all it can. And yeah, we've done basically all we could. And we're just going to have to work our way around. And yeah, I guess that's going to be in turn. These Storm Boys are definitely a frustrating unit to play against. There's still this unit over here, though. Oh, they're going to get into close quarters against the... Oh, one of them goes down, so they're not going to get... They got a bit of damage in against the Lemanus Vanquisher, but I'll be able to finish him off. And this clump, oh boy, and oh no. Go figure the AI gets the perfect spawn. That's really rough. I really don't. That's the reinforcing and armor. Two big complaints, I think, for this game. And the fact that the can just spawns behind me. This is crack shot, because otherwise I'm probably completely screwed regardless. But what I can do here is I can send this guardsman forward. Hopefully finish off this. Well, I can try to finish off the Storm Boys. We'll throw out a smoke grenade. We'll swing around to here. We'll take a rear shot, but we can hopefully swing around to here. Hopefully. There's literally zero reason to try to defend myself against this guy, because he's going to be able to... And the dumbest part is, of course, that you do get tied down in melee. You can't. It's not like you can just be like, yo, driver, gun the engine, and because that's the most reasonable thing to do. At least the heavy bolter's doing something here, but I'm not able to flamer that guy, and I'm not able to hit him, so I might lose the Leman Russ. We'll see. He's doing a rough spot for sure. And we were just pulping these guys with the Earthshaker. Now, I'm not entirely sure I want to commit here, because I don't know how much reinforcing the AI is going to get. Once again, I just don't understand how. I'm not entirely sure how the we might be able to swing these guys around and help save the Leman Russ next turn with that. I'm just not sure. Like now, with the way the reinforcements have been, I'm really nervous about what would happen if I just tried to push in. Because I feel like there's a very good chance that any pushing I do is going to end up with a nasty spawn of enemies somewhere around there, and that would be game for me essentially. I can push up to here, I think, safely, and hopefully finish off the war buggy. That's one guy down, 50 points worth of troops, and I'm not actually able to hit anything else. So we'll actually go after the terrain. And unfortunately, you can't use the heavy bolters on terrain. Once again, you can see this is absolutely, in my opinion, ludicrous. They get a spawn of reinforcements right on the flank. And this isn't even well within their spawn. This is simply okay. Now this is actually good because my Hellhound has a lot of HP. So hopefully, unless I get this guy lands some crazy crits, the Hellhound should be able to tank through this, and that'll expose that guy's rear to my Punisher, who's much better at dealing with that kind of crap. Doing damage. I definitely don't like these AI reinforcement spawns. This is deep within AI's. We land one hit. Okay, well we baited out the shot at least. And these guys are getting owned, and we can repair. We'll swing our guardsmen to here. Turn our hull to there. We got our guardsmen covering our rear. And we'll just keep pounding away with the Basilisk. Because I don't really see too much of an alternate option here. %95 chance that Basilisk miss. Or Vanquisher miss. God. And this single incredibly lucky guy, and it basically all comes down to simply AI getting a really good spawn on this unit, which is really not fun. I don't know. It's one of those. I don't know. I definitely think there's some things that should be gone back. I think to the drawing board. I don't like to necessarily beat up on a game or whatever, but I definitely think there's some things that could use some reworking. Now I'm definitely hoping that there's no sudden spawn of troops. We'll kind of position our Lemaners to counteract the bikes if they do anything stupid. These guys, I should be able to wipe out the Punisher, I think. 59 damage is okay. And this guy should be pretty tanky from... Well, maybe not. Maybe, that was a crit, 22 damage. This is another one. The Tempestus signs is by having pistols. Of course, they don't turn to shoot back. Now, these bikes are in deep trouble because the Punisher will absolutely annihilate them. The Punisher is very good at that sort of stuff. It's one of the few situations where it's really nice. Now, this rocket might be in range. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to lose Tempestus. I almost lost Tempestus Scions to RNGesus. Oh, well. No, I've just lost my Tempestus Scions. Because the AI just keeps getting reinforcements. This is a really compact map despite everything. I do, ultimately, because I do have to control a control point, I do have to push in and try to take it. And I might actually lose my Lemaners because Lemaners were really low on HP before. And the smoke bomb is actually hurting me more than it's helping me right now. Almost got him. I should be able to finish him off with the lone plasma gunner here. Beautiful. Plasmas for the win. I think we'll increase hit points because right now we definitely... yeah, that losing these Tempestus Signs is brutal. I get that Imperial Guard's very squishy, for sure, but nonetheless, it's just very frustrating trying to deal with this sort of stuff, where you just get, it feels like you get ruined by RNG a lot. Now here, and for some reason the Punisher cannon has like no chance of hitting at that range. We'll just snipe at them. I guess I should definitely use the heavy bolter there. That was a major mistake on my part. Now these guys are decent HP. And we can use our heavy bolter a little bit. It will do some damage to him. I'm not entirely sure the flamethrower will do very much. Doesn't seem to be. It's not even breaking their morale. But every little bit of damage counts, and if those guys push in, they are going to be in for a very rough time. We'll push up to here with the guards and try to get some fire in. We're almost, if we could pick off a model, there we go, model down. So that cuts into their DPS by a good amount. Picking off orc models is a little difficult because there's a lot of they've got a lot of HP. But yeah, it looks like we're in a decent, if uninspiring spot. I definitely made a mistake of not using my heavy bolters against these guys. I'm going to lose probably both of these plasma units, actually. They actually don't go after the guardsmen, which is fortunate. But they might go after them with the shooters. I do forget that the heavy bolter doesn't actually get return fire. That's definitely a mistake on my part. Definitely another bit of a strange mechanic that hull-mounted heavy bolter does not give you. You would kind of expect a hull-mounted weapon to give you be really the defensive fire default, but for some ungodly reason it's not. So what can you do? Hellhound's taking the fire. We'll swing the Hellhound around and melt these guys down. There's honestly no reason to keep using it against the Meganops. But it does look like AI's finally stopped getting reinforcements, which is good for me. But this is our final turn. I do believe it goes into overtime because neither side controls a point, and I'm definitely not going to control a point in time. We're going to finish off these shooters, hopefully. There we go. We'll actually try to... if we could finish off these Meganops with las guns, that would be perfect. Can we... heavy bolter? We finished them off, unfortunately. That sucks. What can you do? The best laid plans. I was hoping... I should have used the heavy bolter first to soften them up, but I did not. I do believe you actually retain all your XP and all that sort of stuff. The Vanquisher definitely seems to struggle a little bit with finding angles from which you can get max value out of its out of the Vanquisher cannon. I need to get, if I can, I'd like to get those plasma guns into range. Fire at the back. We'll repair our tank, push up a little bit, and absolutely unload on this battle wagon. We'll dart into cover and focus them down with our las guns, which actually does 23 damage. We do have the crit ability, but it's still not doing very much. And I've definitely botched things here. I could have pushed the Basilisk up before firing, and that would have given me a little bit of extra damage. But yeah, it's not going to be, in spite of the fact that this says final game, this is not going to be final game. Oh, and the guardsmen get it. Oh, whoop, whoop. And this is less good. It could. That sucks. Oh well. I let him get on my rear armor. That's 100% my fault. Overtime. There we go. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I'm going to swing to here. We'll destroy this wall. Unfortunately, I can't use my heavy bolter, and we'll send the Chimera or the Bane Wolf thing in. Heavy bolter chance to hit low. We'll get some like usually the last guns. This is the armor. Oh, the armor model is just ouch. Not cool in my opinion, but what can you do? We'll unload on this guy with the Punisher. I kind of want to see who I need to level up. Well. Oh, we win. Okay, I guess that was it for their troops. So definitely a bit of a rough game. Definitely the way reinforcements happen in this game, and the armor piercing. Ouch, that was painful, especially on this sort of tiny map. It's not as much of a problem in big maps because in big maps you're all over the place, and usually you're not pushing that far into your enemy's base. But in this sort of tiny map, it's definitely frustrating to play against. Nonetheless, it was pretty fun. Definitely we took some nasty casualties there. I'm not entirely sure what I guess the lead we lost was the. We didn't actually lose any of our armor, which was a little surprising. Generally, that happens for me. A few guardsmen died, of course, because the guardsmen are very squishy. No, we did lose those Tempestus signs, which definitely sucked. But we did get some upgrades, which is good. And I do believe the XP, even if you lose the unit, does carry over. So all in all, that was definitely good. And yeah. So now we do have our next skirmish unlocked, but yeah, we'll definitely be doing this mission over here, Fortress Alaric, on Assault on Huge. So yeah, alright, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. If you have any comments, criticism, any questions about Sanctus Reach or anything like that, be sure to post it down in the comments and I will respond as soon as I can. As usual, guys, I do appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.